See, my ears are already starting to ring, which means there's energy.
Should probably move around.
Yeah, just want to wait for us to start up man now. We'll do yellow torch.
Awesome.
Yeah, we come back this way.
It's getting cold. Yeah, I'm put my anorak on. Oh, that's a bit freaky.
When they bought their tickets during the war.
Hey, look. They were tickets.
We haven't got many lads. The oldest. Actually, there was a local historian, Dr. Nichols. He wrote a book in 1904. He had the idea that druids would worship, sacrifice in the caves 4,000 years ago. Apparently a human sacrifice. Romans, 2,000 years old. So all this chalk, flint, using roads, buildings, foundations. Saxons, 1,400 years ago. So being farmers, burn the chalk, turn it to quicklime, use as a fertiliser. Now, if you joined all the tunnels, all the passageways, they say 20 miles a cave. Actually, it's a little bit less than that today. We covered just under a mile. And then during the Second World War, a large air raid shelter. So when this was full, twice it reached 15,000 people. So 2 cinemas, 3 canteens, hairdressers, gymnasiums. Entirely man-made, none of this is natural. Roughly 300 years ago, they heightened and extended the cave and it all became a flint mine. So that's us, that's how we go. Saxon, Druid, Roman, back. If we go backwards to start the tour, we can start with the old wartime church. That's the best way to go. Now, you sure everybody's okay for a low tumble ceiling, which is green methanic sand. Over the years, it's become a bit soft and crumbly, mainly with these tree roots growing in, you see. You know, well, I should imagine that's what's holding it up. Now, this section we're in at the moment, during the 1914-18 war, this all became an explosive store. Actually, this was the overflow to the big arsenal of Woolwich to keep the explosives away from flooding. I say, not a good idea to smoke. They are artillery. Now, the next section, where they used to have all their old dances and parties.
Ooh, disco.
60s, then it was rock bands. So Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. Actually, Jimi Hendrix played there twice. He played on the 16th of December, 66. Pink Floyd, 67. And Led Zeppelin launched their record label here, which was Swan Song, 1974. You had bands on there, all that was open. And there were 2 bars down there. No. Any rippling on the floor is mainly caused by when the creatures are flood. And also in the 30s, they used to grow mushrooms. Big mushrooms.
Yeah, in the 60s too.
All the passageways, they gave names. So this was the Rifle Range, S Bend, Lumbago Alley, your London Line streets. If you didn't return after 4 days, they presumed you had been bombed and killed, and your pitch went to someone else. Now we're going into what they call the Druids, so mind your heads a bit low. Churches and buildings. Now, I'll just show you this. If you see the walls are sparkling anywhere, you see it around this part of the cave. That's not special. It was actually put there by the BBC when they filmed Doctor Who. So it's a great place to put it. By Cavaliers as a place to hide. About halfway, there's a large hole in the floor, which they say was a trap. Anybody unfriendly coming in, down the pit, on some spikes.
You in a minute, Philip.
No, it's not right. Right, so all these pictures of paintings you go by, they're just the old wartime toilets the owner's daughter put the pictures on in the 60s. All they were, your toilet was an Elson chemical toilet. And you see, this is where I was fixing the light up here. When it used to work, I was fixing that light. And the noise I heard came from down there. But it was in the next tunnel down. And it seemed to come along this tunnel. Well, the next one along. But I got no idea what it was. And when I went round there was nothing there.
How loud was it?
It's quite loud. It made me really... About a year to finish. Sandy Brown. What? It's funny enough. She was. She had seen the tours go by. But some days she didn't mind, but some days she go back. But sometimes.
We're supposed to be doing something.
There's one.
Crazy! What a shit!
They had the idea she was murdered 200 years ago. 1957, there was a £5 challenge for anybody who could stay the night. And the first one to try, a policeman who sat there, Tony Bayfield, he still said it was true. He said that during the night, candles were going out. So he came towards the pool and saw the figure of a woman on the water. And of course he panicked, ran back to the Druid cave, bashed his head, apparently found unconscious the next day. I don't know if he got his fiver. A second policeman stayed down the passage there, carving a horse. He didn't see a ghost, but he wasn't keen, he didn't like the experience, he had the feeling he was being watched. And the very last challenge, Halloween 1985. 2 cave guides, one called Dave who sat there, one called Chris who was asleep down the passage. And during the night, Chris became ill. Actually so ill, we had to drag him up to the surface, phone for an ambulance, he was taken away. And that's when they called the challenge off. That was the last one. They diagnosed some type of fit, some kind of seizure, but he's never had one before or since. That was the one I said they actually taped, the strange noise. So I say, if I can get you a copy of that, I'll send it on.
Can you just show it on the back and then my flash will do? No, that's not going to be enough. But
No?
hang on.
Got it? No?
Can't make Michael Jackson jokes anymore.
This bloke wasn't in the same league, really.
It's a bit scary.
When you went to bed, just a curtain, like an old Anderson shelter, but larger and safer. And the next one, which is the Cave Hospital. Now, as I say, as far as I know, no one actually died in the caves during the war, but there was a baby girl born. Cavina, they called her. Yeah, she changed that to Rosina as soon as she could.
Good book. Yeah. Look, that is Linda. Smashing.
That man's body they found.
Sorry, say that again?
All these little bits of glass, they used to stick all over the place.
Yeah.
Then when they used to bands, they used to reflect the lights off of those. And it was like their big disco ball.
Oh.
Yeah, it was good.
You saw the bits in there.
Oh yeah, little bits of it. Well, I was an art student then. Right, just do last bit. Now the white building just here, that's the old ticket office. If you stayed in the caves during the war, they made you pay. It was a penny a night, 6pence a week. Money looked after electrics and beds. Just past on that board there, there's 17 rules. If I leave you, if you want to have a read, no rush. When you're done, just leave your lamps on the table for me. Left-hand tunnel, that takes you back. Okay then?